3 o'clock.
And then you stay in your dose?
Until Saturday morning.
Until Saturday?
Yeah.
That's not nice.
Well, considering I'm going to be here Saturday, Sunday, Monday, because that's the weekend you wanted to be here, it's...
Mama will be here Saturday.
Yeah, well, I'm coming back on a Saturday morning.
You'll come back early.
I said Saturday morning, so that means Saturday morning, okay?
It can be 8, it can be 10. 11 is still early. It's better.
No, because there's nothing to eat.
There is?
No, there isn't.
There is?
No, there isn't.
Let's talk about something.
No,
Oh?
because I don't want it.
Frameshift drive charging.
Uh, well, hang on, I'll show you. Wait, let me just skip from this stuff. I'll show you in a minute. Yeah, so I don't need shields, but if G planet, I want to have that. I want to have my shield as a cushion just in case I come in a bit too hard. Because if I don't, then my hull will be damaged, and it will probably make my ship blow up. Okay, so if we look over at my modules, I could still be saving weight on what I'm doing, but so these are my modules. My frameshift drive has been engineered to grade 5 with Felicity, and it's the one that increases your jump range. So I got that to grade 5, which puts it up to about 45. But my frameshift drive is also a 5A, which is the best you can get for this ship. So you get a 5A frameshift drive, and you upgrade it to grade 5 with Felicity Farseer. And also my my power plant is engineered so it's more heat efficient, so that when I get close to stars, my ship doesn't overheat. My detailed service scanner is also, I'm not sure what that's engineered to, but that's engineered to something. I could engineer my thrusters to make them more lightweight, but I haven't done that yet. I could do that later on though. I've got yeah, what you can do is, if you go over to Deciat, which is the system where Felicity is. So if I just go over, I've got it in my bookmarks. Here we go, Deciat over here. This is where Felicity is. If I open the system up, she's on this planet here. If you land on that planet at this station, Farseer Inc., what you can do is, if you go on an on an exploration trip before you go here, you can give her your exploration data, and you will be rank 5 straight away. You don't need that much exploration data actually. You probably need, I don't know, about 20 systems with a few Earth-like planets. And a similar setup, minus engineering. Yeah, 34 light years is the max you can get without engineering for the Asp Explorer. And then if you engineer it, you can get that up to 45. And then if your fuel tank is empty, your jump range for your last jump, it can go up to 46.27. But it's usually around 45.5. So yeah, I could get my jump range higher actually if I engineered my thrusters and some other things, my power distributor as well. Yeah. But if you have an Anaconda, you can get your jump range up to about 60 light years if you engineer everything. I've seen jump range actually on the Anaconda up to 70. Uh, oh, that's a good question. I don't know actually. How do I check? I don't know. I think it's. I'm not sure, but I think it's 16 tons. I'm pretty sure it's 16 tons.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, if you have a smaller fuel tank, obviously you're going to save weight. And I could go with an even smaller fuel tank, but that means that with the fuel tank I've got, I can make about 3 jumps before I have to refuel. But if I had a smaller fuel tank, I could probably only have maybe 2 jumps, but probably more like just 1. But it would increase my my jump range, obviously. So you see over here, these planets here are high metal content planets, and if you scan these, you can get a lot of money from them. And then if you take these scans to Felicity Farseer, your rank will increase with her, and you'll get grade 5 with her in no time. The only thing you need to do then is get materials to upgrade, but that's not difficult. Actually, when I get back to the bubble, I'm going to do some tutorials on engineers. I'll probably do a little tutorial on power play, but I don't think anyone really wants to know about power play. I'll do a beginner's tutorial for the game, trading, combat, all that stuff. No worries. Glad I could help. Yeah, engineering is really useful in this game. If you just got the base game without horizons, then you're kind of being a bit ripped off because you can't use the engineers. Also, if you're exploring, I advise taking an auto field maintenance unit. Just in case, because I actually got too close to a star and my some of my cockpit canopy got damaged, so I had to repair that, and my power plant I think got damaged as well. So, oh, and my frameshift drive got damaged as well. Yeah, this game's good when you get into it. It's just slow to start off with because you start off with the worst ship in the game, and it takes a while to get money to start off with. But then once you get going, get a better ship, you can get more money, you can get some good missions, you can go to places like Quince, if you know what that is. It's a bit cheap, but it's worth it. Right. Need to pop my next fruit. Do the engineers? Yeah, all the engineers are on planet stations. All the engineers are on planet stations, and if you haven't been invited to an engineer, and you go to their station, they will shoot you down. So you have to be invited first, and before you can access their upgrades, you have to. There's a requirement for each engineer, and I'll show you. I'll show you what those requirements are when I've plotted this route. Okay. Well. Okay. Right. Let me just show you something quick. If you go over to status here, and you go down to view engineers, you can only do this if you have horizons. I'm pretty sure if you've been invited, then you have horizons. Just let me know if you have horizons, which is the season pass. Anyway, if you do, you go to view engineers, and these are all the engineers here. I haven't unlocked all of them, so some of them aren't even on this page because I haven't unlocked them. But okay, so you see this one here, Felicity Farsi. I'm grade 5 with her. I've pretty much done everything with her that I can. If you look down at the bottom, it says log. Now, she is the easiest one to access. And if you look at the bottom, it says you fulfilled your initial contract by providing a unit of meta alloys. Now, there is only one station in the game that sells them, and they're really expensive. But you only need to, I think they're about 100,000 credits each, but you only need to provide her with one. So you take that to her. And by the way, before this, you have to actually be invited to her. Anyway, you take that to her, and then you get grade 1 access. What you can do after that is you can sell her exploration data, and you can go all the way up to grade 5 access. If you see over here, Todd the Blaster McQuinn, it says, at the bottom it says log. It says you fulfilled your initial contract by providing 100,000 credits worth of bounty vouchers. So for that, all I did was go to a hazardous resource extraction site and killed a few ships and then handed in those bounty vouchers to him, and then that gave me grade 1 access to Todd McQuinn. And currently I'm only grade 4 access, but I'm 69% of the way through grade 4 and I'm nearly at grade 5. And the way I upgrade with him is you need to actually do some rolls with grade 1, 2, 3 and 4 before you can upgrade to grade 5. And here I don't use this engineer because she's pretty much the same as Felicity Farsia. Although what I could do actually is upgrade my shield generator so it gives me a higher jump range. Anyway, if you look at here, these are my locked engineers. And if you look here at the bottom, it says log, and then it says you gained access to the dweller because you dealt with at least 5 black markets. Now, I haven't dealt with 5 black markets yet, which is why this engineer is locked. The requirement for this one is to mine 500 tons of ore. I haven't done that. And this one is to claim 50 or more combat bonds. So, yeah, that's a pretty quick run through of the engineers, but I'm actually going to do a video of that when I get back to the bubble. Anyway, if you're still in the stream, I hope that helped. No worries.
Fuel skipping.
That's good. And also, if you want to know where the engineers are, just go down to View Engineers. And what you can do is, for Felicity Fast Series, you can press View on Galaxy Map. And then that will take you directly to the system that they're in. And for her, obviously, it's Desiat. If I wanted to go to Todd McQuinn, I'd press View on Galaxy Map. And there he is. He's in Wolf 397. That's where he's based.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, I don't bother putting bookmarks for the engineers because you can just go to the engineers page and you can just go straight to them on the... You can just view them on the galaxy map and they're there, so there's not much point in bookmarking the engineers. You can bookmark them if you want, if it helps, but...
Fuel skipping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Fuel skipping. Fuel skipping complete.
In fact, what I can do to increase my jump range even more is, you see on the left of my screen I have 4 heatsink launchers. I only did that because I went on a really long journey to Sagittarius, and realistically I probably only need 2, so as soon as I get back to Seoul I'm going to get rid of 2 heatsinks and that will put my jump range up a little bit.
Frameshift drive charging.
It does take a while, yeah. This game is all about grinding. Everything in this game is really expensive. And also, it's more expensive by far to upgrade your ship than to buy your ship. So, for example, the next ship I want to get is a Federal Corvette, which is 186 million. But if I want to fully upgrade it, in total, it will cost 700 million. Yep, it's expensive, and I think it's actually a little bit more because I didn't select the best weapons. But yeah, so the ship is 186 million, and if I want to get the best frameshift drive for it, that is about another 150 million just for that. So that's almost the price of the ship, just for one module, which is ridiculous. But that's the way the game works. So, can't really complain. There are some exploits you can do, if you want. Which give you a lot of money.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping.
Yeah, the aspect is about 6.6 mil, and the frameshift drive, I think it's about the same price. The fuel scoop that I got, oh look, it's nothing like one. The fuel scoop that I got was 9 mil, so that was 30% more expensive as my ship. So, and if you look over here, my rebuy cost is 1.6 mil. So if my ship blows up, that's how much it costs to rebuy. But I got 277 mil, so I'm not really too bothered. But if you look over at my, if you look over at my status, if you look over here, my current assets is 348.6 mil. That's how much money I would get if I sold all my ships. So I think this ship is worth about 30 million. So it makes up a good chunk of that. And I've got another aspects. So, and that's outfitted for combat. But aspect's not great for combat, so I wouldn't recommend it for combat. Yeah, I scan Earth-like worlds, high metal content worlds, metal-rich worlds, and water worlds, and I scan blue-white stars. Yeah, I scan ammonia worlds as well. An Earth-like world can, depending on where it is and how far you travel, it can, for one Earth-like world, you can get sometimes you can get about 1 million for just one planet. So it's definitely worth scanning these planets. I saw an ammonia world yesterday, but I wasn't the first to discover it. They look pretty much the same as high metal content worlds, but they're called ammonia worlds. And I wish you could land on like Earth-like worlds and high metal content worlds. I don't know why you can't. Right, what's the time? 1 o'clock. Yeah. Alright, no worries. Look out for the what? Okay. Yeah, that will be probably quite a while because first I've got to get back to Seoul, but I might do that this week, but next week I'm off to Vietnam for 2 weeks. And then I've got school starting again, so I probably won't get that tutorial out for a good few weeks.
Frameshift drive charging. Fuel scooping.
Yeah, I'll make it as soon as I can. And what I'll do is I'll buy a new ship so that it's ready to be engineered, and then I'll show you exactly what the engineers do when you actually go and see them. Yep.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
No worries, mate. Thank you. See you later. Oh yeah, if you wanna see, obviously, that engineers video, subscribe to the channel so that you know when the video comes out, because otherwise you'll just be trying to dig for my channel again. Because I don't make that many videos, but the videos that I do make, I make them quite in-depth and detailed so that everyone knows what they're doing. And my streams are just chill out, you know, I just chill out in my streams. I think that's the only one, yep. Oh my God, I'm going to walk.
Frameshift drive charging.
Play some more.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
Ugh.